Greetings fellow gamers, this is Small Archangel, and today we are trying out ARK. This is a game that's in early access, it's still being developed. It's on Steam at the moment and it's only been released fairly recently. I think it was released last week, but it's already very, very popular indeed. The multiplayer servers are pretty, well, oversubscribed is what I've heard, but today I'm just going to be trying single player. The other thing with this game is that it is a real sort of GPU basher. It's difficult to maintain a decent amount of FPS with it, so it's going to be fun seeing how it runs really. It could be a little bit laggy. Optimization is obviously something the devs are very much working on. So, okay, so we're going to do a single player game, and in order to do that, this will be multiplayer of course, we just hit play local. Now there's various things we can check here, and I have not really touched any of them. I've just left them as is. You've got a hardcore mode you can check if you want a permadeath, and force no, HUD, etc. Show player map location. Where's the fun in that? I prefer getting lost. Well, actually, I have no idea. You've got a difficulty level as well, which will influence the amount of raptors, the amount of meat-eating dinosaurs there are around trying to use you as a toothpick. And if you want to host, well, that doesn't seem to work ever so well so far. I've tried that one, it just kind of chucked an error, so we're just going to hit play local, and that will start to load our own little game. Loading takes really quite a long time at the moment, so that presumably is something that will be improved by further optimization. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, that's something that devs are definitely working on at the moment. So we've got a bit of character customization we can do here. This guy is a scary looking mutant. I'm going to go for the slightly less scary female, though nonetheless she still looks like she could toss the caber. So I'm going to change her a little bit. We haven't exactly got what you call in-depth customization, but who knows where further development may take us. I'm basically going to make her a little bit sort of smaller, because at the moment she looks just way too tempting for those dinos. So we can, using most of these sliders, just probably not the length one. I don't want to make her really short. I could probably just tone down her size a bit, like so. Massive feet. She's a bit of a hobbit at the moment. If you want something with massive feet and really short legs, and you can make yourself a hobbit, absolutely. I've seen pictures of very credible dwarves. I'm not sure at the moment whether it's possible to see, that's going to make her shorter, so I'm not absolutely sure I want to do that. Chest looks really weird. Shoulders, we don't want too narrow because they look really strange. Her head now looks perhaps a little bit too big. Okay, leg length can be insanely giraffe or dwarf. So somewhere in the middle is probably appropriate for us here. Okay, so she looks to me a little bit more sort of sane. She's still got a scary six-pack going on. Somehow she looks a little bit long in the body. I'll just shorten her a little bit like that, and then maybe make her head a titchy bit smaller. We don't have much we can do with the head here. We've got these sliders which affect lower and upper face size, which as far as I'm aware just kind of, you can make yourself look more like a total and utter cave woman if you want. Ugh! I might not do that. I might just, you know, stick with something that looks a little bit more sort of human as we know it. And then you've got your hair and eye colour sliders, but actually we could probably do with doing our skin colour first. We've got quite a funky black which makes you look like you've been totally carved out of ebony. It's quite aboriginal, but it looks kind of almost too black really, so let's see, we've got more of a dark brown there, which is probably a bit better. I think maybe it's a good idea to be darker skinned when you're living somewhere in the sun, so we'll go for that. And then hair, well, the blonde's going to look a little bit strange. The white looks quite funky, but that makes me look like I'm about 70 years old, so perhaps not. Black, brown. Let's go for dark brown if we can get that. Or maybe that kind of reddish colour is quite nice, actually. She's got green eyes, which look a bit peculiar. You can zoom in a bit, but if you zoom all the way in, you end up looking really, that's not helpful, is it? No, it is not. So, eye colour, we've got, I think, brown on that end of the scale, and I don't really know what colour that is supposed to be. That colour there, which is sort of greenish, kind of. Okay, there we go, and then you can pick your survivor name here. So, okay, I'm just going to call her, ARK. That's me. There we go. And hit create. Oh, hang on. We could choose where to spawn in here, actually. So, you get no idea of whereabouts on the map this is going to be. Obviously, you're going to be south, you're going to be east, west, north. Looks like it's got a lot of mountains. South. Let's try south. So far, I have not tried south. Okay, we'll try South Zone 1, and in we go. Okay, now, if you hit K, you can see yourself, so, but you can't really play in third-person mode because you get this kind of, you can't steer. Your character just goes in a straight line no matter what you do, and the only way you can steer is by going sideways. So, not recommended. Hello, Dodo? Okay. Even these guys have got a vicious beak when you're not carrying anything. I know I actually died to being attacked by several didos. I want to call them didos. Why do I want to call them didos? Several dodos. One of them, sort of, I think I hunted one of them in the previous. I've only put a couple of hours into this game, but I did hunt a dodo. They're pretty easy once you've got a weapon, but the whole pack of them then come after you, which is great. So here we go. We're just going to gather a few bits of stone off the beach. So you start pretty much like you'd expect to with, I can see some sort of a beacon thing over there. I'm still not absolutely sure what those beacon things do. Oh, that's a big stone. And just keep an eye on the dinosaurs around as well. I think these ones all look like fairly harmless ones. We've got a flyer over there, so that looks like a pteranodon, and then we've got some ankylosaurs, and we've got dodos and some triceratops. So they're all vegetable eaters, they're all vegetarians. Although, yeah, you don't want to anger any of them because they will make absolute mincemeat out of you, because I have been run over by a triceratops as well. In fact, I think I've probably been killed by, in 2 hours of gameplay, I think I've probably been killed by most of the dinosaurs currently in the game. Certainly in the low end game. Okay, so I'm just going to collect some of these plants here. We get various things. It's kind of like a random drop, it seems to be. So you get random things from each. These guys really can shake the ground. Get a really big dino. Oh, there we go. If we pick it enough, you get the whole thing disappearing into the ground like that. So generally speaking, I just take a couple of things from every node, and then they're still there next time when you want to do a bit more looting. I also prefer the idea of staying in a more limited area to start with, to make sure that I don't stray into territory where there might be raptors that might sort of do that raptor thing and rip my head off my shoulders. So you can see it all looks pretty stunning actually, and I have in no way got my settings up to max. I've got epic on a couple of things, and then high on a lot, and medium on some, actually, just because you're kind of forced into it by the fact that this game just sucks a lot of juice. It just does. So even if you're used to being able to run things on maximum settings, as I am, I'm surrounded by dodos. And Dodo Doodoo. You have added small dinosaur feces. That's lovely. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with that. Use it as fertiliser perhaps, but I don't suppose I'm going to get into that for quite some time. So, picking up quite a bit of stone, which is good, because we can make campfires out of that, or at least we can when we've learned how. Basically, your experience in this game goes into upgrading various kind of parts of your ability, but also allowing you to learn to make sort of certain things which are going to be essential to survival. As I say, really not got ever so far in this, so kind of clueless as to what I'm doing, sort of learning on the fly, but that is okay. Missed. That is, yeah, probably fairly realistic, really. See how working together as a tribe might be quite useful here. It's quite realistic in terms of weather effects and what have you. I've noticed that if you're in the sun a lot, you get too hot. If you're in the water a lot, you get too cold. At night, you'll get cold, and when you're cold, you get you burn through food more quickly. I can't pick these stuff up. Oh, leveled up. Awesome. I must have picked up enough rocks to consider myself level 1. Okay, here we go. Level 2. So, when we level up, we can choose to boost one of our default skills, all of which are default at 100. So your weight, obviously you get more carrying capacity. Water and food, you'll be able to consume more water and food, but to start with, I find being able to run faster is a bit of a bonus. Campfire. Now we've only got 8 points to start with, which is annoying because these come in sort of factors of 3. So if I learn, for example, to make a hatchet, which is useful, and then I learn to make a spear, I won't then be able to make a campfire. So I'm going to learn the campfire first, and then I've got 2 points left, which, yeah, is going to be helpful next time I level up, but other than that, not really. We have our list of known recipes here, otherwise known as engrams, so I can make a torch, a pick, a hatchet and a campfire, but we need to have enough materials to make all of these. So the first thing I really want to be able to make is the pick, and for that I need 10 thatch, and I possess 0 thatch. You can see what I do possess here, and I'm going to hotkey a couple of these things. So I've been doing a lot of savor root seed. Seeds are cool, seeds are good, we want to save those. Everyone poops. Yes, okay, so we can use that as fertilizer. It might be a little while before I get around to that though. So these berries here, there's various berries that you can find. The ones I've found so far are the red ones, the blue ones, the yellow ones, the white ones, and the black ones. All of those can be used for dyeing stuff as well. But the ammo berries, you can eat those too, so that's cool. We'll hotkey those. The black ones, if you eat those, you'll make yourself torpid and sleepy, which is not good for survival, and the stim berries make you dehydrated, which is not good, whereas most of the berries actually do the opposite and hydrate you, so that's good. So we need thatch. You'll get through absolute truckloads of thatch in this game. I find the light effects are beautiful, it has to be said. The game looks superb, and if they optimise it better so that those of us with halfway decent rigs can actually, you know, put those settings all the way up, it's going to be eye-watering. It's going to be fantastic. Mostly I find I get reasonable FPS with them on pretty high. Okay. Sounds like I've got a dodo right behind. I have got a dodo right behind me. Okay. It's following me. They're probably quite easily tamed. It might be my first taming project, that dodo. If it hangs around long enough. Or it might be just lunch. Give me thatch. Okay, I've kind of lost track of how much thatch I've got. So here we go. Enough for a pick. Fabulous. So we're going to craft my pick. And then when it's done, it should appear in the inventory items. You can still move around while you're crafting stuff, so you're not stuck with standing there like a sitting duck or anything. We're going to need some more of that. Now, why am I doing that? I have a pick in my hand. Right. So we can gather wood and thatch from trees, and we can also gather stone and flint from rocks. Now, I normally make sure I don't hit rocks too much, or trees. Well, that one I evidently did hit too much because I destroyed it. There it goes. So, you're usually safe with hitting stuff 3 times, and after that it's destroyed. Which is fine. I don't know if it comes back. I'm not played enough to know that. But I kind of prefer things to sort of stay put. And I find that if you go back to them afterwards, then you can sort of hit them for more resources. I've got stuck on the tree. Those beacons, quite short to call them really, but I use them for navigating, generally speaking. When I die, when you die, not if, when you get eaten, if you kind of randomly, if you haven't managed to set a spawn point, which I never have because it takes so much stuff to build one, you've got to find your way back to such base as you might have built. So it's a good idea to place a base where you might, be able to find it again. Okay, got lots of thatch here. There's a Bronto there. I'm going to have to go and check out this Bronto because they are the most awesome things. They are utterly huge. Just don't get trodden on because I'm fairly sure this guy could just squash me. Look at this dude. Just run right under his feet. I say his, I don't honestly know if it's a he or a she. Guess we'll find out. Oh my gosh. I'm a bit nervous. Male. Okay. Don't poop on me, please. Oh. Now that is a screen shaker. Look at that Dido. Dido. It's no good. I have to call him a Dodo. There we go. Careful, little Dodo. What have you? Look at that. Brilliant. You had a lucky escape, female Dodo. Okay, so back on task then. Stunning as that is, there's some more Brontos over there. I think I might have chosen, I say, cautiously, I might have chosen a fairly safe location with not that many raptors. This is central to survival, quite frankly. So, we're going to collect some more stuff. Yes, I need to make as many, while daylight lasts, I need to make as much stuff as I can. Because come dark, it's very dark and you really can't see anything very much at all. Okay. If I go for one of the bigger trees, I might get more wood and less thatch. Or not. Oh dear, my berries are spoiling already. Maybe I should eat some. In any case, it pays to have those to keep your food meter full. You see, it's getting a little bit late already. Now, how am I doing for these? Oh, goody, goody, goody! I can make myself some other stuff. This is cool. Let's make a hatchet. And then we put that there. Now the pick here, I'm going to repair my pick because it's looking a little bit back-endish. Okay, I'm going to go then select it and repair item, and it consumes that amount of stuff, which I think is less than it took to make it in the first place, so it's definitely worth doing that. Okay, hatchet in there. There we go. Okay, so I've now got a hatchet which is better for harvesting trees. And the pick, of course, is better for harvesting rock. Some wood there. And as well as making a campfire. Help. Stand on me. As well as making a campfire, of course, I'm going to be able to hopefully feed it with wood as well. So having plenty of wood for that is a good thing. If you want to collect anything, any berries or anything from... Oh, I'm getting a bit cold now, apparently. If you want to collect any berries from anywhere, really, you need to not have a hatchet in your hand, because apparently you can't... If you've got a torch in your hand, you can collect stuff, but if you haven't, yeah, as it says there, you equip fists, so you have to put your... Oh, look, you can see some sort of fishy thing there. Very large fishy thing. That would be a shark then. This is why we're a bit careful when we go swimming. We're also a little bit careful about building on beaches, apparently. Never build your base on a beach because it might get devoured by a shark that just decides to hutch itself up onto the land and have a go at you. So, getting pretty dark now, so I'm going to get a little bit more wood and then... Oops. Missed. And then we're going to see if we can find somewhere that looks vaguely secure to put sort of a campfire. So I want it not in the grass, because if your campfire's in the grass, it's virtually impossible to find it. And I suppose really what I need to be doing is finding somewhere where I can build a base. Now I don't ideally... That shark is doing weird things. I don't ideally want it too near Brontos because I don't want it standing on. I'm not absolutely sure whether they do stand on them or not. There's a hill over here. I'm actually going to go and check out that hill. And before I do, I'm going to make a torch because quite honestly, I'm going to need one. What the heck? I think that's the Brontosaurus making that noise, but I'm not absolutely sure. It's it's a case of really discover, you know, who's making what noise as soon as. Okay, so I'm gonna hot slot my torch, and then we'll see what else. I can make a campfire as well, so I am gonna do that. There we go. And in my inventory, there it is. So I'm going to just pop that there for the minute, and then I can put it down fairly easily if I can find somewhere to put it down. Right, where's my torch? Here we go. So while we've got a torch equipped, I'm not sure if that makes any difference to your warmth levels. Hopefully it does. There we go. We've leveled up again, which is just fab. And I don't know if I can put my campfire... Hello, Dino. I'm just hoping this is out of his reach. If I can put it on top of a rock, probably not. But somewhere up here is looking like a good place to sort of... I mean, I don't know if there's enough space for me to build an actual base up here, so it might be sensible to find somewhere in the long term that's a little bit larger. But uphill seems like a good plan to me. Near the beach, but uphill just seems like a good idea. At the moment I can't really see very well, it being dark and stuff. Okay, so I think for the moment I'm just gonna stick myself a campfire up here and call it good for the time being. Got a bit of a bare patch of ground here, so we'll go for that. I just gathered some berries from somewhere. Okay, that's fine. Well, I should make sure not to put my campfire on top of that. So here we go. 5 campfire right there. Oh, there it is. Okay, now I can probably, because it's getting cold now, put some wood in there. I've got 36 wood, so I can probably put a couple of pieces of wood in there, and that should keep me nice and warm. Also means I can put my torch out. What happens at night? Yeah, if you get cold, then you tend to use up your fuel, your body's fuel, your food really, really quickly. So keeping warm is a good idea, and building shelters helps with that as well. So I'm just gonna eat a few berries, fill up that food meter with all these berries, and then when I've done that, I'm probably going to poo, but that's that's not something I have much control over. I'm going to have a look in the inventory because we've got to level up. So I've chose speed last time. I'm going to choose health boost this time, and I would have already learned the campfire and the hatchet. I really want to learn the spear. That is my next priority, because the spear is going to be very useful for defense and offense too. Oh, my fire just went out. We can also learn some basic clothing, and we can learn bits of shelter as well. So I think actually what I'll do is learn some engrams for bits of shelter. There we go. So we'll make a shelter next perhaps. So I've learned a wall and foundation of a shelter. Cool. And in the meantime, yeah, I'm going to put some wood on this fire, keep it lit for myself, keep myself nice and warm overnight. So there we have it. That is day one in the gorgeous but rather dangerous world of ARK Evolved. So I'm planning on doing a Let's Play series of this. This was my first one, obviously. As I say, I am going to be learning on the job because I really have not done very much of this game at all. Just enough really to learn the basic mechanics and to figure out how well it ran. So I'm going to be learning more about it as I go. It seems to me like it's going to be a really, really in-depth game when it comes down to it. Later gameplay is going to be very different. I think the world's going to feel like a very much bigger place where you can ride around on a dinosaur, and when you can build a base that offers you far more security. If you can do tribal multiplayer and form a tribe, and even if you don't do PvP, there's plenty to be versus, quite honestly. So I'm going to sign out for now, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button if you did. It's there's a lot to like. It's my first impression of this game, and there's probably a lot more to come. The devs are adding stuff all the time. Hopefully they get some optimization done. But yeah, check out my next one as well. As I say, I'm going to do at least half a dozen of these, and maybe if it sticks, and not many games do with me. Uh-oh, here we go again. If it sticks, then yeah, that wasn't what I meant. If it sticks, then maybe I shall do more than that as well. So watch this space, and hopefully I'll make it through my first night without burning myself to death or freezing to death. Okay guys, thanks for watching. See you later. Bye bye.